The CEO of Nissan has just come out and said that Australia is not ready for electric cars. He also said most countries around the world are not ready for them either. I'm going to tell you why he said this, and it's pretty obvious. I'm sure you've guessed it already. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking. My name is Sam Evans. I'm coming to you here from Melbourne, Australia. Great to see you. It's been an amazing week, an amazing year when it comes to electrifying vehicles. Not just cars, but bicycles, scooters, all kinds of transportation. Honestly, the real answer to the world's pollution problems, overheating problems, all the environmental problems we have is that more people go from cars to electric cars. But even better than that is going from an electric car or a car to an electric bicycle or an electric scooter. That is an even better solution. Unfortunately, here in Australia, or at least in Melbourne, new rules have come into place that try to prevent people from using these electric mobility vehicles. Anyway, Mitsubishi, what are they trying to do? Well, the reason Mitsubishi said that the market in Australia doesn't need or want EVs, and many other countries worldwide don't want or need EVs either, is because they have no plans to offer them. And you're probably thinking, hang on a minute, I just saw an article, and in that article it said on Clean Technica that Mitsubishi sold more electric cars in Germany than any other car company in April of this year. And that's true. They did. If you define a plug-in hybrid as an electric car, here on the Electric Viking, I do not. Here in Australia, pretty much all publications that report on electric vehicle sales do not include plug-in hybrids. So that's our stipulation here. I've looked that up on about 50 different articles over the last 12 months. None of them include plug-in hybrids as electric cars. You may think they are. Maybe they are in your view, and it doesn't really matter, does it? However, I don't think they are either. Mitsubishi right now is doing its best to brainwash people using propaganda. I'm talking real propaganda here, to make people think that EVs are not good. Speaking at the launch of Mitsubishi's new plug-in hybrid, the Outlander plug-in, Sean Westcott delivered a withering appraisal of the challenges facing future electric cars. And he said that despite increasing sales globally, we're still years behind the rest of the world. Well, Australia is anyway, apparently. And that goes, of course, for the United States as well, according to him. Now, high purchase prices, slow charging times, the need for more infrastructure, and Australia's reliance on dirty energy were Westcott's key points. He said, the reality with EVs is Australia has a lot of catching up to do. A lot has to happen. And I think with the new government, there's a higher desire to move the dial. But I'm afraid the harsh reality is there are limitations in how quickly we can adopt because we're starting so far behind the curve. I would say that all the people getting BYD cars and Tesla electric cars and Volvo electric cars over the next 2 months, there's masses, literally thousands and thousands, and I mean more than 10,000 orders coming from our small country over the next few months are going to be delivered. I think the truth is Mitsubishi have no electric cars planned within the next few years. Eventually, they'll start using, if they still exist by this time, the Nissan Mitsubishi Renault combined platform. It's a platform basically that they believe they can use across the brands to put all their cars onto, and it's going to save amortized costs, reduce the cost of manufacturing EVs. Now, the Nissan Renault Mitsubishi alliance is quite interesting because Nissan and Renault actually do make electric cars. Not a lot of them, but they do make EVs. The only one of those three companies that doesn't make electric cars is the smallest of the three by far, which of course is Mitsubishi. Now, if we have a look at Mitsubishi globally, they're almost irrelevant. Sales in 2021, Renault, 2.7 million. Minus 4.5%. Nissan, 4.1 million. Mitsubishi, 900,000. So as you can see, out of these 7.7 million cars that the Renault, Nissan, Mitsubishi alliance produced in 2021, Mitsubishi were only 900,000 of that number. So not much more than 10% of that alliance comes down to Mitsubishi. Yes, Mitsubishi actually do plan on making an electric car. But it's a key car, a small, mini little hatchback for the Japanese market only. And they don't have any plans within the next 5 years to release electric cars anywhere on the face of the earth, except for in China, where their market share is dwindling. And I believe it'll be a complete waste of time. But the truth is, in China, they don't manufacture their EVs. Their joint venture partner makes EVs for them, which is GAC. And frankly, Mitsubishi are really an afterthought in China. The market there is not a market they're even trying to go after because they know they've lost it. It's over. What markets are they going after? Well, currently they're going after Southeast Asia, primarily because that is where the majority of their growth has been over the last couple of years. In particular, Indonesia. In fact, 325,000 of their 900,000 vehicle sales worldwide were in Southeast Asia, including Thailand, Indonesia, and the Philippines. Big challenge here though. Margins are very, very low or in those car markets because the average sales price of vehicles there is quite low as well. So the CEO of Mitsubishi is embarking on a campaign to kind of demonize EVs. This is how he's doing it. It's the same way that coal-powered companies, fossil fuel-powered companies, BP, Shell, these kinds of companies are trying to demonize EVs. He said, in Australia and many other countries, the majority of power is dirty power. If all we're doing is transferring emissions from the tailpipe to the power station, then what are you doing, guys? What's the point of EVs? Well, I can tell you what the point is. I made a video about it recently. Australia plans on being primarily a renewable energy-driven energy market by 2030. Huge changes are coming to our market. Those changes have been put into policy within the last few months in Australia. Why is this? Because finally, experts within the Australian government have been advised that yes, renewable energy is cheaper than coal. It's cheaper than the cheapest coal, not just any coal, the cheapest coal. So by 2030, the majority of the Australian electricity market will be renewable. And Mitsubishi probably won't even be around to see it. Here's what he said. That's not net zero. All they're doing is shifting the dirty emissions from the tailpipe to the power station. So as a country, we need to invest heavily in power stations that use renewable energy. We need to get green fast, he said. Now, obviously, he's denigrating current electric vehicle owners, which, well, to be honest, apparently the large majority of those actually have solar installed on their rooftops here in Australia and many countries around the world. So they're not using dirty power at all, are they? They're using renewable energy. Obviously, it's convenient for him to ignore that because Mitsubishi doesn't provide an EV and don't plan on providing one anytime soon. Fortunately, companies like Tesla, BYD, Volvo, Hyundai, and Kia plan on supplying the Australian car market with as many electric cars as they can possibly do. We've got Chery coming as well, Aura as well. So Great Wall Motors plans on bringing their EVs. In fact, a slew of different electric car companies plan on targeting Australia, Europe, and many other car countries around the world where companies like Nissan are saying, no, EVs are a bad idea. Don't buy them. Well, too bad. So sad because customers want them and they're buying them en masse, even here in backwards Australia. Thank you for watching.